Okay, today's video is all about makeup fails, things that have not worked for me over the last few months. I actually haven't filmed a video like this in a little while. I think the last time I did one was in the beginning of the year or like early spring. And it's not that I haven't tried bad products. I feel like a lot of the launches lately have been really good, but there are things that haven't worked for me. I just kind of mix them in and talk about the good and the bad at the same time. Today's video is all about the bad. So if you don't like these videos, I totally understand. No hard feelings. I'll have one coming up soon where I talk about products I love. But, I never want my channel to be a place where you only hear about the good or you only hear me raving about things because that's just not reality. Like some of these products come down to personal preference and they could absolutely work for you. But some of these products, in my opinion, just aren't good quality. And there are so many amazing options out there. I don't want you to waste your money if you don't have to. So if we have similar skin types, similar preferences, I would probably recommend avoiding most of these. And I'll try to share some alternatives if I'm using something similar that performs better. Okay, this first one definitely comes down to personal preference because it is one of my favorite formulas of all time. But this specific scent is so bad that I can't wear it. It's from Ole Henriksen. It's their Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment, which is like my favorite lip balm. But this one specifically is in Blood Orange Spritz. I want to say this is a previous launch. I think I saw a post on Instagram saying they brought it back. Either that or there was a new arrival. So anyway, I bought it immediately because I love these. I think I have almost every other color and I love all of them. I love the scents. I think Lingonberry Jam is my favorite color. And then the strawberry ones are my favorite scents. This one just smells so bad. And I feel like there are probably people out there who maybe really love it, but I don't know. If you've tried this, let me know what you think. I can't even really describe it. Like it definitely has a citrusy scent, but it has this sharp scent that's really unpleasant. And maybe I just haven't had like enough blood orange scented things to know like that's what it's supposed to smell like. But in my mind, I'm like, I can't really imagine wearing this again. I'll put it on for you so you can see what it looks like on the lips. The color is really pretty, but because it's a lip product and it is strongly scented and it's right under your nose all day long, like you just smell it the entire time it's on your lips, which is one of the reasons why I do love their products because they are scented and they smell good. But this one's so bad, it gives me like an instant headache. And that sucks because the color is pretty. It's more of a subtle red. I do have a lot of red lip balms, and most red lip balms, in my opinion, are pretty intense, at least on me. My lips are not super pigmented. So I like the fact that this one adds like a hint of color without being over the top. But honestly, you can get a similar effect just by applying a small amount of any of these. Summer Fridays, Cherry, if you're looking for a high-end option, e.l.f. Glow Reviver in Wild Cherry, and then ColourPop in Cherry Glaze. I mean, it's kind of nice, or at least it was a good attempt that they did something other than cherry for a red tinted lip balm. And this one's maybe more of like an orangey corally red. So many red lip balms are cherry scented. So if you hate cherry, that might actually be preferable to you. But I can't deal with the scent, honestly. And I feel like I'll just wear one of these if I really want to wear a red lip balm. Another bad smelling lip product and bad tasting lip product, and honestly, just poor quality product all around, in my opinion, is this one from Revolution Beauty. It's their Pout Lip Oil. I do think Revolution Beauty has been launching some really great products in 2025, but then I try something that is just so incredibly underwhelming. And I definitely understand why they have the reputation for being kind of like a hit and miss brand. Overall, I do think the quality has gone up across the board, but this product, in my opinion, is just not necessary if you have any other lip oil from any other brand that you enjoy. So these retail for $8 each. They have a couple of different options. To be honest, I think if you were to try this, you would really only need one because there's not much color payoff. I have one of the lightest shades and one of the darkest shades. They look pretty close on the lips. There's a slight difference, but I don't think it's enough to feel like you need to run out and buy multiple shades from the brand. And honestly, I just wouldn't even recommend buying one because it's just such an underwhelming formula. It's a pretty thin, like oily lip oil. If you like a thicker, more nourishing formula, immediately skip over this one. It's so thin that it doesn't really feel like you're applying much to the lips, and then it wears off in like 10 minutes. 10 minutes is maybe a little bit fast. I would say like you can feel it on the lips for about 20 minutes, but after 10 minutes, like that initial glossy layer is pretty much gone. And then it just feels like you have a light lip balm on top for another 10 minutes, and then it completely disappears as a whole. It's not thick, it's not sticky, so maybe that would appeal to you. And I do like the larger doe foot applicator. That's my favorite when it comes to a lip oil. I think some of them, I don't know if it's all of them, but some of them have like a very small amount of shimmer. They're not as intense as like the e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oils. They're very, very subtle. So I don't know, if you like a very subtle, like almost non-existent type of lip oil, maybe you'd be a fan of this. I just think lip oil formulas as a whole have come such a long way in the last few years. There are a ton of other options at the drugstore. If you're looking for a lightweight kind of gel type texture, like a non-sticky option, the e.l.f. Glow Revivers are one of my favorites. The Milani lip oils are great. If you like a slightly thicker formula, Catrice has a good option. Essence has a great option. Again, I kind of reference this video a lot. I need to go back and watch it, but I know I did a video last summer kind of ranking all of the drugstore lip oils I've tried. I need to do an updated version, and I want to do a lip balm version because I've tried a lot of lip balms over the last year, but there are just so many good alternatives, and $9 isn't like a super inexpensive price when there are other options out there that are less expensive and significantly better. Sorry, I just double checked, $8, but again, still wouldn't recommend spending $8 on this. This is from Fenty, and honestly, I love so many Fenty skincare products. I think I like their skincare products better than their makeup products, but I am just not a fan of this. It is their their Hydra Hues Tinted Moisturizer Broad Spectrum Mineral SPF 30 Sunscreen. So it retails for $43. One thing I do like is the fact that it comes in like this refillable packaging. So that's kind of nice because you can just buy the tube, but pop it back in. Another pro, it does come in 10 different shades. Although at this point, like this summer, a lot of brands have been launching tinted mineral sunscreens that have even more shades than 10. So that's always nice to see as well. But that's pretty much where the pros end for me. This product is incredibly thick. And, you know, when it comes to a tinted sunscreen, you have to still layer enough on to make it worth wearing as an actual sunscreen. And because it is so thick, I feel like I have a hard time layering enough on because I don't even want to layer on like a light layer of this because it instantly feels cakey. It's very greasy, very oily, and it doesn't settle down. It's summertime, it's hot outside, my skin is oily, and I can't really deal with a sunscreen that is so greasy to the point where it just feels like it's like melting off my face. On top of that, if I wear makeup over this product, like it looks so bad. It could be my favorite complexion product of all time, my go-to foundation that interacts well with whatever base product I have underneath, and this product will make it look cakey, heavy. My skin will look so textured. It almost like ages my skin 15 years. Even if I just go in with a light layer of this product, which obviously isn't ideal because it's a sunscreen, I have to layer up enough. But if I'm like, all right, I'll wear something underneath, go in with a tiny amount, it's not a good formula in my personal opinion. I think, you know, at this point, like I said, a lot of brands are coming out with tinted mineral sunscreens. They have their pros, they have their cons, but I'd reach for pretty much any other one that I've tried over this. I just don't even think I'm going to keep it because if I wear it like on my hands, my arms, like I said, it doesn't settle. So it just gets everywhere. And I personally don't like this formula. I've been using the e.l.f. Halo Glow one, which is very glowy, but it looks so much better on my skin than this product. And if I wear it, you know, if I wear powder on top, it sets it enough that I feel like I can wear it throughout the day. The Merit one is really beautiful. That one is much thinner, so you can layer a lot more of that product. And even though it has a tendency to look a little bit heavy if you're layering a ton of it, it's not anywhere as heavy or cakey looking as this one. It's funny because I was describing that one as like slightly cakey if you layer it up in a video, and then I wore this one again and I was like, what was I thinking? Like that doesn't even come close to this one. So it's interesting how it's, you know, all relative when it comes down to it, but a good like tinted mineral sunscreen is difficult to find. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let us know. Another product from Revolution Beauty. Now, this is something that I personally don't like, but I feel like there is a potential for it to work for you if you have dry skin. I don't know. If you have dry skin and you've tried this, let us know in the comments below. But this is the Revolution Beauty Hydra Cool Baking Powder in the shade Translucent. I think they just came out with a pink toned powder. I don't know if it's like the cooling version, but I personally don't plan on trying that one out because this was just a fail for me personally. It sounds really, really interesting because it's like this cooling, almost wet feeling powder. They say that it's made with 62% water, and when you touch it, it actually feels wet, which is, again, kind of an interesting concept. Some of you said that Becca Cosmetics used to have a product like this. So if you've tried that product and you've tried this product, Let us know in the comments if they compare, just because I know a lot of people are like, I missed that product. I miss Becca as a whole. Since they're no longer around, this could be a good alternative, but I never tried that original Becca powder. Initially, this product does feel and look pretty good on the skin. It's super lightweight, very silky, like the true definition of weightless. So it doesn't feel like you're layering a heavy powder on the skin, which is nice if you're not typically a big powder lover. In the description online, they say it is a good option for baking the skin. And I have tried this in pretty much every way. I've used like a large fluffy brush. I've used a smaller dense brush. I've used a velour puff to really press it into the skin. Honestly, I think the most ideal way to use this powder, if you have it and if you try it, is with a large fluffy brush to lightly set your face. If you use it to really bake under the eyes or in the T-zone, it can have a tendency to kind of disturb your foundation underneath. And I think that's because it is such a wet powder. So it doesn't, lock your makeup into place in the way that you would expect a baking powder to do. It doesn't really end up adding any, how do I say this? It almost seems like no matter how much powder you layer on the skin, it ends up being like a very light layer because it kind of disappears when it touches the skin. So I do think if you're going to use a fluffy brush to like lightly set your whole face, that's a little bit more ideal than using it to bake, because it does have like a nice smooth texture if you just go in with a super tiny amount of it. But I think the issue is it doesn't actually set my makeup into place, which is what I need my powder to do. If you have dry skin and you like that hydrated glowy look and you just use like a tiny touch of powder, you might like this product and it might be a good option for you. But if you have combo or normal or oily skin and you need your powder to actually lock your foundation into place and prevent it from moving around or breaking down throughout the day, that's when I would skip over this. As for alternatives, I don't really have one because it's just such a unique product. It's different from anything else I've tried. If you have oily skin, normal skin, if you don't like the idea of like a wet feeling powder, but you want something super light, I do think the e.l.f. Halo Glow is one of like the lightest, softest powders I've tried that gives like a similar effect to the skin, but doesn't break down in the same way. So I talked about this product in a fairly recent video. I was sharing my thoughts on some drugstore makeup that I've been testing out. And honestly, like even since filming that video, I feel like I like this product less and less. Now it is something I'm going to hang on to and try once the weather changes, because my skin changes with the weather. And sometimes products I don't like during the summer, I will end up liking in the fall and the winter. So I'm not completely writing it off or like kicking it out of my collection yet. But again, I feel like I have alternatives in my collection that perform better that I know I liked in the winter that I could use over this. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on it again because it is a newer launch. A lot of people have been curious about this. It's the Essence Foundation Stick. I love the fact that it's affordable. It's $6.99. It comes in 43 different shades, so a great shade range. This is a very creamy, very blendable formula that honestly melts into the skin. And I feel like that is such a selling point when it comes to a foundation stick. You don't want something that tugs on the skin, that's hard to blend out. It applies so quickly, so easily. It has this really beautiful glowy finish, and I do think it's like a true medium coverage product that you can build up or sheer out, so it's pretty customizable. I mean, it has a lot of great selling points. It just ends up looking so heavy and so cakey on my skin throughout the day, and then it ends up breaking down pretty quickly. So I do feel like this one could come down to skin type and personal preference. I've watched a couple of reviews on this since I initially tried it, and I feel like the general consensus, I don't know, it's so mixed because I've seen people say that on them it does look heavy and cakey and it breaks down, but I've heard other people say they love it. So I do think this one is going to come down to personal preference and skin type. And I mean, that's the case with everything, but I think sometimes you can say like this is objectively not the highest quality product. And I don't know that I can say that about this one. I would just say if you have oily skin, if you have a similar skin type to me, this might not be the most ideal option. It's definitely heavier in texture and it looks heavier on the skin than the Milani skin tint. So if you've tried that one and you love that one, I would just stick with it. Even though that one is a lot more expensive, I do think the way that looks and feels on my skin is so much better than this one. But if you have very dry skin and you like the idea of a slightly higher coverage product, you might like this. It's just, on me, it really ends up looking pretty bad after like 4 or 5 hours, mainly in this area, which I find so strange, but I think that's because maybe that's the part of my face that's moving a lot more. Like it wears fine on my forehead. And I do think I tend to layer it up more on like the bottom 2/3 of my face because that's where I need a little bit more coverage, but it breaks apart. It looks like it like stretched and then like I tried to put it back together and it doesn't look good at all. I wish I took a clip, but I will check back in with you in a few months once the weather changes and I'm dealing with a little bit of dryness to say for sure if this is like a true fail. I do have another product from Essence. I've tried a lot of good products lately, but they did launch a couple of setting sprays, so I tried these two. I wasn't sure if there was going to be a big difference, but there is. So they launched the Fix and Last Instant Matte Setting Spray and then also the Fix and Last 18-Hour Long Lasting Setting Spray. I don't recommend the long lasting setting spray. If you're going to go with one, go with the matte one. And don't let the word matte throw you off because I don't find it to be super mattifying or anything like that. It's just a good setting spray for extending the wear of your makeup. And I don't know, I'm kind of surprised they even call this one a matte one because when you spray it on the skin, it's not that it gives your skin a glowy look, but it makes it look more skin-like. Like if you're wearing a lot of powder, it melts the powder together in a really flattering way. The first time I tried this one, the actual nozzle was kind of clogged. It sprays fine now, and I wouldn't say like skip it for that reason because I think technically they have the exact same like spray applicator on them. But beyond that, this product does have a very strong scent. It's like a perfumey floral mixed with a cleaning product. The pink one or the matte one doesn't have that same scent. So if I was just choosing based on that alone, I'd skip over this one because it's pretty intense. I've actually worn these side by side multiple times, and the difference is actually very, very noticeable. Like when I wear these side by side, my makeup on this side lasts so much longer. And when I wear this one on this side, it breaks down so much faster. So I do think this one actually extends the wear of my makeup longer. And this one actually causes my makeup to break down faster. It really threw me off because at first I was like, is this one just a little bit better? So my makeup just isn't lasting as long with this one. But I think this one actually has ingredients in it or the formula just, it's not that it doesn't extend the wear of my makeup, it's that it actually causes it to wear off faster and break apart faster. I do recommend this one, don't recommend this one. I think I need to come to terms with the fact that I am not a CoverGirl mascara fan in general. And I don't know why. I'm like, oh, I love CoverGirl mascaras. They're so great. I can't get enough of them. And I think it's because I used to use their mascaras back in like high school and college. And for some reason, like I think that I enjoy the brand when it comes to their mascaras, but I really don't. There are so many other brands that I love, so many other formulas that perform well, that every time I try a CoverGirl mascara, I'm just completely underwhelmed. Also, the wand just kind of hurts my eyes. I feel like they're very uncomfortable to apply. So this is their Lash Blast Bond Mascara. It claims to provide a ton of volume. I think the exact claim is like 5 times the amount of volume. I really don't get an insane amount of volume. I get a little bit of volume at the base of my lashes when I initially apply it, but the volume doesn't extend all the way through the full lash. So by the time I get to like the middle, even toward the end of the lash, it almost looks like there's no mascara in place. So it's not the most voluminous option. There's really no length. It does an okay job of lifting the lashes, but it basically just underperforms in every category I would want a mascara to perform really well in. It doesn't flake and it doesn't smudge on me, so I do feel like that's maybe like some redeeming qualities for this formula. It claims to condition and nourish the lashes. I feel like I said that weird because it has a bond complex, but I don't know, like every mascara claims to do that these days. So if you found one that you feel like really makes a difference, you'll have to let me know. My lashes could use like a good nourishing formula. I'm not opposed to that, but it has to be something that I love to use every single day. And I feel like all of the formulas I love using don't really claim to do that. So for me, I'm underwhelmed. It was like $13, so it was kind of expensive for a drugstore mascara, and I don't really recommend picking it up when there are so many other options out there that perform significantly better. Okay, a couple of lip products. So I love pretty much everything I've tried from the brand Pretty Smart, but I finally tried a product that did not work for me. This is their Liquid Fuel Lip Oil. First of all, I love the way this looks, and if it lasted more than like 10 minutes on the lips, I'd be sold. It would be like an absolute go-to product. But honestly, I can't say it's worth the money when it really does wear off in about 10 minutes. It's an $8 lip product, so not incredibly expensive. I think everything from the brand is under $10, which is really nice to see because a lot of drugstore brands are charging more than that these days. And this product looks so pretty. I'll show you what it looks like on the lips. It is a true oily lip oil. Like it has that oily look, that that oily feel, but because it is so thin, there's just no wear time when it comes to this product. It's so watery. It has like this really nice slippery glide to it, but it doesn't dry down because it's a true lip oil. It's like a glossy lip product. So if you are, even if you're just sitting there, I was going to say if you're talking, if you're drinking water, but I've tested this where I like applied it and then I sat down on my computer to edit. And after like 10 minutes, I swear the color faded and the glossy layer was gone. So I don't know. I feel like if it was slightly thicker, it'd be a better option because it would last longer. But when I say 10 minutes, like I truly mean 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, the color is gone, the shiny finish is gone, and doesn't even feel like it really nourished your lips. So in my opinion, skip over that one. They have a lip gloss formula that's like a true gloss that looks pretty, lasts longer. That's a better alternative. But like I said, there are so many good drugstore lip oils. I really wouldn't recommend picking that one up. ColourPop's lip products are usually really great, but I just can't get on board with this one. It doesn't do what it claims to do, especially because I think they have a glossy lip stain. I don't know if that, now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't heard much about it in a little while. So I don't know if they discontinued that and then they came out with this one. Let me just check. I always act like I don't have access to the internet, like right here on my phone. Like, why am I sitting here trying to guess if they have something when I could just Google it? Yeah, they have the Fresh Kiss glossy lip stains. They're still available online. It looks like they're on sale right now, so I don't know if they're having like a site-wide sale or if they're discontinuing them. This formula is better than this one, so I don't know why they decided to redo it. I mean, that's a common thing with brands. Sorry, I got a phone call and I lost my train of thought. I think I was saying it's not uncommon for a brand to discontinue something and then re-release a very similar product. That product probably just wasn't performing well. I feel like maybe they thought they could, put it in cuter packaging and market it a different way so people will be more intrigued by it or more interested in buying it. And this is much cuter. I like the applicator better. I like the shades they launched, but the actual product is not as good as the original. And in my opinion, it's just not like a true glossy lip stain. I think I said this in a previous video, but it almost feels like their blotted lip color, but slightly shinier and with like a little bit more staying power. I had one of these on today. I mean, I have so many lip products on because when I put it on, I was like, that just doesn't look good. I have the shade 90s Babe on, but honestly, I think on top, I put a Merit lipstick and then I put this Naturium lip balm in the shade Jam on top. So this isn't even like an accurate representation of what it looks like. I'll show you what it looks like on its own, and then I'll take it off and show you what it looks like stained because there really isn't much of a stain. I think the product itself feels good. It's very light, very hydrating. It has like a little bit of a cooling sensation. It's not so intense and so glossy and so richly pigmented that you feel like you're wearing a really over the top bold lip. Obviously that depends on the shade you wear. If you're wearing like a red, maybe you'll feel that way. But if you wear one of like the nude tones, it's pretty. It's a little bit more subtle. It almost looks and feels like their ultra blotted lip formula, but slightly shinier. So it's like if you layer it up, you get more opacity, but like just one light layer of it is slightly more sheer. But unlike the ultra blotted lip, you can build it up to look a little bit more intense if you layer it up. And as you layer it up, it does look shinier, but I wouldn't call it like a full-on glossy lip. Like if you're talking like a hydrating glossy stain like NYX or Milani, it doesn't look like those. And then once you either take off that glossy layer or it wears off, you just don't have much of a stain left behind. So honestly, I just wouldn't describe this as a true hydrating glossy lip stain. That's what's trending. So that's why they marketed it that way. And I don't really even know what they would go about calling this if they described it how it actually wears and performs. Maybe like a shiny, like a satin blotted lip, but that's not trending and that doesn't sound as appealing. Like it's not as catchy. So I don't know. I feel like there is maybe a time and a place for this. Like if I pair this with a liner and I want something super thin, really comfortable on top that's not too shiny or too matte, I might end up reaching for this. So I don't know that I feel like I need to, fully get rid of them. It's just, it doesn't live up to its claims. It doesn't live up to its name. So if you're buying it for that purpose, I think you'll be disappointed. That is it. Those are the worst products that I have tried over the last few weeks, the last few months. If you've tried these products and you love them and you're like, this is how I use them, this is how I apply them, and they work really well for me, let us know in the comments below because that actually is very, very helpful. Sometimes I film these videos and you guys are like, no, this is how I wear them. Here's a tip. And I end up trying something again and then I like it. So let us know because these could work for you, honestly. Everybody is just so different when it comes to makeup, the way they like to wear it and apply it and their preferences. So there is a chance these products could be great options for you. Maybe not, just depends. But that's why I like to film these videos, just to kind of put it out there, open a discussion. So thanks for being here. I will see you soon with a new one. Bye.